just over 90 miles south of Phoenix after a mid-air plane crash between two small planes.
Here's what we know. Officials have already confirmed that at least 2 people are dead. Fox 10's Lauren Clark just arrived on scene with the very latest. Lauren, what can you tell us?
Good afternoon. An absolute tragedy. 2 people dead after the FAA said this occurred in a mid-air collision right here at the Marana Airport, very close to Tucson. Now, I want to bring in Sergeant Rizzi here with the Marana Police Department. What can you tell us about what happened here? Because this was around 8:30 this morning, correct?
Yeah, so what I can tell you is this morning, just prior to 8:30 a.m., officers from the Marana Police Department and members from the Northwest Fire District responded here to the Marana Regional Airport in reference to a report of an aircraft down. Officers arrived on scene, and it was learned that 2 aircraft were involved in the collision. Unfortunately, 2 individuals were confirmed deceased. The investigation is in the early stages and is ongoing, and the NTSB is en route to further the investigation.
And according to the FAA, we found out that the 2 aircraft involved, it's a Lands Air aircraft and a Cessna 172, and the FAA also saying that there were 2 people on board each of the aircraft. 2 people passed. Now, the other 2 people, do we know anything about their conditions at this time?
From what I understand at this time is the other 2 involved are unharmed, and they're doing okay.
Yeah, and again, all of this preliminary information, obviously this is happening as we speak. The FAA also describing this as an uncontrolled airspace, meaning there's no ATC control tower, meaning pilots have to communicate to each other about their positions via another type of frequency. We will continue to be here on scene and gather information at this time, but stay right here with Fox 10, both live on air and online for the latest details. Reporting live here in Marana, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
We've got ones that can see. Welcome, everybody, to today's show. We also have another mid-air collision between 2 airplanes, causing supposedly 2 people, potentially 4, to perish as a result. And all of a sudden, what we're seeing is not worlds colliding, but planes colliding. Story after story after story, which you all know that I've been covering on this channel. Clearly, we are dealing with a massive psychological operation. Whether some of these are false flags or not is hard to determine at this point, between some of them which look like green screen, some of which you know are government created, like when a DARPA Black Hawk helicopter crashes into a commercial jet. These things do not happen without them wanting them to happen. Of course, this is everything to do with sabotage and changeover in infrastructure. And we have 2 people dead after another mid-air collision. It's one day after the next where planes are colliding. Planes are flipping upside down on runways. Not only are people becoming fearful of flying, we're getting a lot of messaging out there in regards to what exactly is about to occur with an infrastructure switchover. All the stories out there before this 2-plane collision happened in Arizona. The stories are about how the U.S. aviation sector is calling for emergency funding. We're seeing a supposed shortage. All of a sudden, all these air traffic controller jobs are wide open. And Donald Trump isn't trying to hire people to be air traffic controllers. He's firing people, right? He's firing hundreds of air traffic support staff as Elon Musk is trying to figure out what we could do to solve the problem. And of course, everybody who's paying attention knows the solving of the problem is actually being done by the creation of the problem. I should say the people creating the problem, causing all of these planes to crash, causing all of this fear and panic. So of course, you ask for change and they'll give you change, which is AI infrastructure. I want to read to you one of the things from this article, because it's important to start looking at how 6G plays a pivotal role in all of this. And we've all talked about 5G and how nobody notices or noticed a change between 4G and 5G. Well, this is going to be one of the ways I believe they start marketing 6G as something we need, as something we need to implement faster. People won't even pay attention to the dangers of 6G because nobody's paid attention to the dangers of 5G and what it's done to people's immune systems, what it's done to people in regards to the EMF frequencies that are going off all around us at all times. But let's look at this article first about this story, right? When an airport has an uncontrolled field, pilots utilize a common traffic advisory frequency to regularly announce their position to other pilots who are in the airport vicinity. The pilot in command is responsible for maintaining safe separation from other aircraft. Pilots must still comply with all federal aviation regulations, including minimum visibilities, minimum safe altitudes, and right-of-way rules. The collision follows several other aircraft crashes, including a fiery crash landing at Toronto Airport, a fatal air ambulance crash in Philadelphia, the mid-air collision between an Army helicopter and a commercial airplane that killed 67 people. And you heard in that news clip that I played in the beginning, what did they say? They said that the FAA described it as an uncontrolled airspace, meaning that there's no control tower, meaning what I just read, that pilots have to communicate with one another. Now, if you're not aware, 5G technology is not yet widely used to connect planes. It is expected that when 6G becomes available, that planes are expected to utilize it. And they'll give you all the mumbo jumbo about how you'll have faster internet on the planes, how it'll improve your in-flight connectivity. But if you actually read between the fine lines here, the key points about 6G and airplanes, well, 6G could facilitate direct communication between aircraft, enabling better coordination in airspace. Improve flight operations. Pilots can receive real-time updates on weather, traffic, and other flight-critical information directly through 6G network. So not available with 5G, but if we roll out and get to 6G, this will be something else that ties in to AI governance with 6G technology, with everything connecting to one another, with planes being able to upgrade themselves, right? Real-time data transmission. Aircraft can send health data and other critical info to ground stations in real time for monitoring and maintenance purposes. These are things that we're likely going to start getting fed from the Trump administration, from Elon Musk, and from the mainstream media. The more of these stories occur, people are going to look for resolutions. There's always going to be the people that say, well, I don't fly anyway. I don't care what they end up doing. But there's a large percentage of people that not only fly regularly, that have to fly for work, that have to go from point A to point B quite often, and have to do it via an airplane. And when they hear these stories, they say, well, we want you to do something about it because we don't want to be afraid that our plane is suddenly going to crash into another plane, or that our plane is going to crash into a military DARPA helicopter. What can you do about this? And the government goes, well, we've got the solution for you. We figured it out. That everything is being run too slow. Have you heard all this stuff about analog and things being written by hand with pen and paper? All this stuff that the government's doing, it's dated. It's like caveman-like, right? All the stuff you're hearing with Doge and how everything is slow and everything is being done underground in caves and they're writing everything in and they're not digitizing everything. That stuff's all planned to get you on board with all of this. And don't think for 1 second that part of the 6G rollout will be things like this. Because they're not going to be able to convince people that they need 6G because it's not going to make your phone go any faster. Just like 4G to 5G did nothing to to anybody out there who's paying attention. It didn't make your phone go faster. It didn't speed up your download rates, okay? They know that people didn't notice that. But the next level for AI governance, 6G is needed. 6G is needed to connect planes to air towers, planes to planes, helping them communicate faster, cars to towers, everything connected as one. And all the propaganda is already out there waiting for people to pay attention to it, right? 6G will revolutionize civil aviation, right? 6G in India, the new paradigm for aeronautical excellence, transforming civil aviation by unleashing connectivity across dimensions. New navigation system uses cell phone signals to fly a plane in case GPS fails. Don't forget Starlink's involvement with Skynet, I should say, with all of this. Remember when I was covering some of the things with Starlink, how Elon Musk continually is posting how Starlink is hooking up with John Deere tractors, that farmers now have all of this technology in their tractors that they never had before, which enables their tractors to hook up to Skynet, right? These machines, all of them coming to life, connecting to Skynet. So the other things are top 10 ways 6G will transform aviation from connectivity to operations. And all this is the same stuff we've been talking about, right? The transition here. Enhanced air traffic management. Think of 6G as the ultimate traffic controller for the skies, right? This is stuff that came out, articles that have been out there pre all of this chaos in 2025. With its super speedy data sharing capabilities, air traffic management will get a major upgrade. Real-time data will flow seamlessly between aircraft, ground control, and satellites, optimizing flight paths and reducing delays. It's like giving air traffic control a superhero's reflexes, quick, precise, and always on point. Seamless integration of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. Drones aren't just for delivering your online shopping or taking stunning aerial photos anymore. With 6G, UAVs will blend effortlessly into our airspace, communicating and coordinating in real time. Whether it's for cargo delivery, surveillance, or urban air taxis, 6G will make sure these flying robots are as reliable as your morning coffee run. This next wave over to 6G, they are going to talk about convenience with all of these things, safety with planes, convenience for drones. Even hearing them talk about surveillance like it's no big deal, right? I mean, this literally sounds like, I'm sure, one of the movies that you've seen on YouTube that shows this dystopian hell, where everything is getting shipped by drone and you're getting pizza delivered by a driverless truck with a robot inside. It's going to go through 6G. So there's going to be an effort here to get you on board. Trust me. Because if they just told you all of a sudden that we're moving to 6G, maybe some people would get suspicious and say, why are we moving to 6G? We don't see a need to go to 6G because we didn't understand why we went to 5G. And I've heard some conspiracy theorists out there, and I see people in the UK burning these towers down. So what's the rush to get to 6G? Well, now they're giving you the reason for the rush. They're telling you how it's going to make life easier, safer, and faster, right? Here's another thing on the list. Real-time aircraft health monitoring, right? Things you'd be like, what? Say goodbye to unexpected maintenance delays. Oh, great. With 6G, aircraft will be monitored in real time, sending health data straight from the skies to ground-based systems. This means potential issues can be spotted and fixed before they become problems, keeping planes in the air and passengers on schedule. Another thing that they've been doing, right? How many stories over the last couple of years with Pete Buttigieg that they deliberately put out there, where there's nothing but flight delays, people sleeping in airports, their planes aren't taking off on time. 6G, AI governance. Here's another one, advanced in-flight operations. The cockpit of the future is about to get a serious tech upgrade. 6G will provide pilots with real-time updates on weather, traffic, and critical flight information, all integrated into their control systems. It's like giving them a crystal ball that enhances their ability to make decisions, handle surprises, and ensure your flight is as smooth as possible, right? They go into the enhanced passenger experience, right? Baiting the people out there. Ooh, it'll be more fun with 6G, right? You'll get to point A to point B, but you'll have more interactive entertainment systems, right? With 6G, imagine AR windows showing real-time info about the scenery below, interactive entertainment systems, right? So play to the sheeple's need for constant entertainment. Throwing that in here with telling you pretty much how, oh, well, the plane's going to be operated via 6G, but guess what? It'll tell you in real time if it's low on fuel, because apparently the human can't, right? So you don't have to worry about the plane crashing, and you don't have to worry about delays. I don't. And we'll give you a fun little video you could watch through your, Apple lenses, your Apple Pro, and it'll show you what's on the ground. And, oh, this sounds like I'm at Disney World, right? For these adult children that need to be entertained 24/7. Then you get efficient air operations. Behind the scenes, 6G will be working its magic, of course, because that's what it is, to streamline, remember, the energy harvest. What do you think all this stuff is? The 6G will be working its magic to streamline airline operations, from dynamic pricing that responds to real-time demand to automated check-ins and baggage handling. 6G will make airline management more efficient and cost-effective for passengers. This means smoother, more flexible services, all around better travel, enhanced safety and security, folks. Safety first. Always. 6G will bring advanced biometric systems for passenger verification. Okay, so now we're talking biometrics, mark of the beast type technology here. Mark of the beast, remember that, 6G, 6, heading towards biometrics, telling you that biometric systems will be in place with 6G, right? Real-time tracking of cargo. Don't have to worry about your baggage, getting lost. Instant communication during emergencies. Tech upgrade will enhance security protocols and ensure that everyone can fly with peace of mind. Another thing they'll do is get rid of those annoying TSA lines, which are only there to condition you into wanting this type of technology so they could say, hey, we're not going to do it anymore. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And biometrics, you won't need to get out your passport and wait to get it stamped. And then, of course, you get green aviation initiatives, which nobody should care about, but of course, they're convincing people, be a good person, right? Fly green. This technology will support real-time monitoring of fuel consumption and emissions for the brainwashed out there, who are caring about the carbon emissions, who are falling for it hook, line, and sinker. Then they go on to say revolutionizing urban air mobility, okay? This is set to change how we think about city transport, and 6G will be the powerhouse behind it, from air taxis whisking you across town to drone deliveries zipping through the skyline. 6G's robust communication network will make these futuristic transport modes a safe and efficient reality. The Jetson-style commute is closer than you think. The arrival of 6G is not just another step forward. It's a giant leap into the future of aviation. From ultra-fast passenger connectivity and advanced in-flight operations to seamless UAV integration and green aviation practices, 6G is set to revolutionize every aspect of how we fly. As we gear up for this incredible journey, one thing's clear: the future of aviation is bright, connected, and also exciting. Ready to soar into the skies of tomorrow? Let's take off together, right? So here's your little brainwashing propaganda that they put out there. And all of this has to be done through 6G, through getting people on board to move from 5G to 6G without questioning the dangers of the exposure to radiation, the exposure and the control that we're giving up to the tech. They're just expecting you to say, sure, fine. Being distracted with, well, it'll be safer to fly, it'll be easier to fly, you can do fun things on the plane. I can. You don't have the airport delays anymore. I won't. All right, biometrics, yeah. People apparently are ready for that because they've been conditioned with all the biometric crap to just access their own phone with their thumbprint or with their retina scan. So that's what we're headed towards. And it's important to remember, Trump's bringing all this stuff in, right? And I don't know if all of you remember, but back in 2019, Donald Trump, when 5G was getting rolled out, was saying that he's ready for 6G. He wants to be first for 6G wireless tech, right? Trump says he wants 5G and even 6G wireless tech. Well, we have 5G. Trump will be the one who starts bringing about 6G, AI governance, AI infrastructure, and this is all part of the plan. This is sabotage, ladies and gentlemen. Crashing planes. You don't even know if some of these are CGI or not. You don't know if they're real people on some of the planes. Maybe there are on some on others, maybe not. We see planes flipping over on runways. How often do you hear about planes crashing into each other? You know why they're crashing into each other? Because exactly what I said in the beginning. Okay? Because there's multiple agendas. It's about more than just air traffic controllers. It's also about communications between multiple planes, right? Like they said in the beginning, that was the reason I used that clip. Because they say, well, there's no towers for communicating with them at that point. They're communicating with each other. And you'll hear in the days following, oh, remember that crash in Arizona? What happened? Well, their communications didn't work. They weren't able to communicate with each other. Well, how do we fix that? Well, 6G. Right? We need to improve first I'll just say we need to improve our communication. How do we do it? Well, you'll hear sooner or later. 6G is the way to improve it. Have these planes communicate with each other. Have these towers, which even though there might not be a tower within sight for these pilots, well, there'll be one a couple miles away monitoring them through technology. The planes will report directly to the ground, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, this stuff is slapped on in front of us, and we're literally living in a control grid. When you see all that stuff with smart city governance, you see all the towers and everything connected to each other, right? All of that's going to be done through 6G. And this 6G is coming with Donald Trump in power. AI governance, air control, getting the air control towers, the traffic control towers to be run through AI, getting the planes hooked up to 6G, automated autonomous planes as well. All of this stuff through 6G. Pay attention to it. You'll hear the stories after the fact. I can guarantee you. They're going to continue to just say stuff like, well, this is the common level thinking, right? The stories that are out there about Trump firing people getting mad that he's laying people off, and the DEI, and that's where they're stuck. They're stuck in that narrative, not realizing that they're doing all that stuff to get you on board with not just 6G, but AI governance and AI infrastructure. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.